Every man has been there. You ask a simple question, but you don't get a simple answer. Not because someone is trying to deceive you, but because communication between men and women often works in completely different languages. Today, we're going to talk about something deeper than lies or games. We're going to talk about why people hide the truth, why some answers feel incomplete, and what patterns reveal far more than words ever will. This isn't about blaming. This is about understanding human psychology, so you stop feeling confused, lost, or misled. Human beings don't lie because they're evil. They hide the truth because they fear judgment. They fear conflict. They fear consequences. They fear vulnerability. Most people answer emotionally, not factually. They don't respond to the question. They respond to the impact of the question. That's why the conversation feels like a performance instead of authenticity. When someone gives you a vague, softened, or incomplete answer, it usually means the truth feels dangerous. The truth might change your perception. The truth might trigger insecurity. The truth carries emotional weight. So instead of raw honesty, you receive half-truths, reframed answers, deflections, polite avoidance. Not because they want to trick you, but because they want to manage the outcome. When you ask, "What do you really want? Are you happy? What are your intentions?" You aren't asking for information. You're asking for vulnerability. But here's the truth. Most people don't feel safe enough to be fully vulnerable. They will often give the answer that avoids conflict, maintains harmony, and protects their self-image. It's not dishonesty. It's self-protection. From childhood, many are taught to keep the peace, avoid hurting feelings, appear agreeable, avoid confrontation, maintain emotional harmony. So when their mind automatically asks, what answer creates the least damage? Not what answer is the most accurate. Understanding this changes everything. Truth carries risk. Risk of losing respect. Risk of losing attraction. Risk of creating doubt. Risk of hurting someone. Risk of triggering conflict. So instead of raw honesty, many people filter their past, their insecurities, their desires, their mistakes, their doubts. Every answer is shaped by fear of consequences, not the question itself. If you want to know who someone truly is, don't study their answers. Study their patterns, habits, choices, consistency, reactions under pressure. Words can be shaped. Behavior can't. Behavior is the real biography. Certain questions almost never get honest answers because they threaten self-image, relationship stability, emotional safety, personal boundaries. These questions include: do you still think about your ex? Were you fully honest about your past? Are you attracted to anyone else? It tells you exactly where the truth lives, in the place they don't want to go. If you want genuine truth, remove judgment, remove anger, remove emotional punishment, remove interrogation. Remove fear. Truth only appears where truth feels safe. People open up when they trust you. They feel respected. They know you won't explode. They know you won't weaponize their words. Honesty is a luxury, not a default. Some people will always perform. Some will always deflect. Some will always protect themselves with half-truths. The person who has done the inner work will give you real truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Because real connection requires real honesty. And real honesty requires real safety. But here's the part most men never realize. The biggest lies aren't spoken, they're performed. Some women don't deceive with words. They deceive with behavior, silence, timing, and emotional strategy. When she answers slowly, when she avoids eye contact, when she changes the topic, she's communicating far more clearly than if she had spoken. Words hide, behavior reveals. Many women don't tell the real truth because they don't believe men can handle the truth. Not because you're weak, but because you react. And every reaction teaches her what's allowed to be said. One emotional explosion, one defensive shutdown, one guilt trip. Now the truth becomes dangerous. And once honesty becomes dangerous, the performance begins. Some lies don't fool you. You fool yourself with them. You know she avoided the question. You know that number wasn't real. You know that story didn't line up. But believing her lie was easier than facing the truth. Men forget this. You don't get the truth you want. You get the truth you can handle. And most men can't handle the truth they ask for. When she goes silent after a heavy question, men assume she's thinking, she's hurt, she's overwhelmed. But often, silence means, I'm calculating the safest answer. Silence isn't confusion. Silence is editing. And the more silence you get, the more managed version of her you are receiving. When she forgets details, they aren't forgotten, they're removed. Memory becomes a tool, not to lie, but to curate, to shape the narrative in a way that protects her image, her relationship, her emotional leverage, her future options. Selective memory is the most advanced form of dishonesty, not because it's evil. Men try everything. Asking gently, asking directly, asking repeatedly, getting emotional, getting silent, getting angry, negotiating, begging for clarity. But you can't extract honesty from someone who believes truth will cost them more than silence. Honesty requires safety. If she thinks the truth will make you jealous, make you insecure, make you leave, make you judge her, make you lose respect, you will never hear it. Not because she hates you, but because she fears the consequences. Here's the part most men never want to hear. Women don't lie because they're bad. Women lie because the truth has punished them before. And sometimes, men created the fear they now complain about. When you explode, she hides. When you collapse, she performs. When you judge, she lies. When you interrogate, she edits. When you overreact, she goes silent. Women don't become dishonest overnight. Men train them into strategic communication. The real her appears when she's tired, she's stressed, she's laughing, she's comfortable, she forgets to act, she's with her friends, she's drunk, she's emotional. That's when the mask slips. Pay attention to her tone, her habits, her patterns, her contradictions, her off-guard reactions. Those are the clues to her real truth. Are the answers you need the most. A woman avoiding a question is the answer. Avoidance means too risky, too revealing, too vulnerable, too inconsistent, too damaging to her image, too disruptive to the relationship. Avoidance is honesty in disguise. Men who struggle in relationships do this. Tell me what you feel. Tell me what you think. Tell me the truth. Men who thrive do this. I don't need your words. I'm watching your patterns. Patterns never lie. Her choices reveal her values. Her reactions reveal her fears. Her inconsistencies reveal her truth. The woman she is consistently is the woman you are actually with, not the one she describes. Stop expecting honesty from someone who was never safe enough to be honest. Stop trying to decode her words, decode her behavior. Stop interrogating her truth. Observe her reality. And remember, when someone won't answer your question, their silence is the answer.